Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Mimi, aka the Piscean Seer, and this is one of your daily collective messages. Like, and subscribe if you get anything out of this. Thank you so very much to those of you who do like, subscribe, and comment. It is always and forever going to be loved and appreciated. God, archangels, ancestors, ascended masters, cosmic guides, all beings of the highest and purest white light only, with the best interest of me and the collective at heart. You are always and forever welcome into my readings, okay? Please give my wonderful, fabulous, and amazing Piscean Seer family the best and most accurate information for them at this time. So this is an avian reading, okay? So cosmic messages today. I'm going to also do the Pleiadians. So this deck is called What's Blocking You? It says it's a relationship deck, but I don't really care about none of that, okay? So I guess we're focusing more on the relationship with you and yourself, though. So, like, what blocks are they overcoming right now? Because I don't really get this energy like you are blocked. I feel like you've overcome some sort of big blockage, okay? First of all, you is not procrastinating no more. You're not playing any games. You're also not being too needy, okay? Or letting your anxiety overtake you, and that's really good, okay? You are now actively just being you, and that's real good, okay? You know how to walk away on time, because this walk away card says walking away, okay? But it also says you leave too quickly when things get challenging. Stay and try to work it out. So I feel like you're learning not to just walk away from certain things or certain situations so quick, because sometimes you just need to be in that situation a little bit longer for you to see certain things or for things to work out for you on the outside, okay? And then we got retreating. Interesting. It feels like the same kind of energy. But it says your fear of being hurt has made you retreat. It's time to get out and try again, okay? So you could be feeling good, ready to get up, ready to try things again and see how things work out for you now that you're not so quick to walk away from certain things, or now that you're just focusing on doing a lot more healing in your life. So what is coming toward them? Okay, these two came out in flips, but this one came out too. The Libyan Gold Tektite, it says banish your blahs, okay? And this is kind of what I'm saying. Like, this is what you're doing. You're banishing your blahs and you're choosing to act on your dreams to get the best outcome, rather than just sitting around or withdrawing from everything, because it's just too much. Yeah, we got ascend to your rightful throne when I broke the deck, okay? But the ones that came out are Barite and Aquamarine, okay? So Barite says get answers to your biggest questions, okay? So maybe something you've been worrying about or praying about, you're about to get some sort of answer to that specific thing, okay? And then we got keep your cool with aquamarine. So I feel like that could be what you're trying to do. It says those that run hot, okay? You could have like a quick temper, or you could be a fire sign, because it says those that run hot, fire signs, and anybody hanging on to an unspoken burning desire. It says when you've lost your voice, when it's past time to let it go, or when you're feeling a little too in fuego for polite company, ice yourself down with aquamarine's cold shower vibes, okay? So I think you're just focusing on going with the flow, keeping your cool, not allowing yourself to overthink too much, or to, like I said, allow that anxiety to overtake you. And also you're staying in harder situations a little bit longer so that you can get as much as you need out of those situations, rather than running away from it before you see what you need to see, or before you get the help you need to get, okay? You're a part of something bigger, and I think you're very aware of that. You got great faith, baby, such great faith, and it's not something that goes ignored, and it says details are taken care of, and I love that. I feel like, because it says the ripple effect, like this more positive attitude, or this willingness to just work through things, even if you don't always have a positive attitude about it, it ripples out into the rest of your life, and it makes it easier for your divine guides to make sure that everything that you need to have go down is taken care of, even if it seems like everything is shitty. Yeah, we got metamorphosis. I feel like you're going through some very big changes right now, not only emotionally, but like in your physical life. And it's important that you just continue to embrace the transformation that you're going through. It says things are different now. Things could be a lot different now than maybe like they used to be just 2 years ago or 3 years ago or whatever. And I think you've just been going through like this major adjustment period, and also if there's this energy of like you continuing to have to adjust to things because things just keep changing so quickly. But I feel like there's a really positive outcome, a really much better place that you're going to end up in after you finish doing what it is that you're doing with yourself and your relationship, and just focusing on what's important for you, you know. We got the water oracle. It says psychic abilities, acting on visions, and it's destined, you know. So just make sure that you're acting on things to make sure that the vision, the future you're envisioning for yourself comes out very clearly. Like, make sure that you're taking practical steps, you know, and just know that, like, wherever you end up, you're supposed to be there when you're there, you know. Like, don't feel like you're ever in the wrong place or you're ever doing a thing wrong. What's this? The rainbow. It says sweet relief, new beginnings, and a new way forward. So, like, just try to be very positive at this time. You might have times where you do feel kind of emotional and you just want to like pull away and you don't really want to be around other people, and that's perfectly fine. That's healthy. We're people and we shouldn't always constantly be surrounded by everyone, you know. Like, take time to yourself. Don't be afraid to like separate and get your mind right, because like I said, you're going through this big transformation, even if it's not really something you recognize or that you necessarily can see in every moment. Like, there's big things happening for you emotionally, and with the way that you love yourself and the way that you make shit happen for yourself. We got thank you right here, and it's interesting because we also got gratitude right here at the bottom of this deck, you know. Show a lot of gratitude for the freedoms that you do have and the things that do go good in your life, because that's how you attract more good, you know. Like, try to stay out of that ungrateful or like temper tantrums type of energy, even though I do support that every once in a while, you know. Like, sometimes it's okay to like have that breakdown, just express yourself, you know, if you got to get loud or whatever. But just make sure that you go back to appreciating the things that you have, because shit could always be worse. And always make sure that you recognize the energy that sustains you, which is God, right? Always make sure that you stay in contact with God and keep expressing yourself the way that you've been doing, because changes really are coming through. Yeah, we got making waves, okay? Because you're making waves, baby. Momentum is building. It's your time and achievement, okay? I feel like confirmation. So what's the ripple effect in metamorphosis? We got stagnant waters, okay? So you can feel like things are stagnant, things aren't moving, feeling stuck and calling for this shift, right? That's what you could be praying for. Better finances or a different situation where you can actually grow and thrive. So just try not to be feeling like you're stuck or like you're stagnant, you know. It's like when we get comfortable, when we feel like we're good right where we are, that's when shit gets shaken up and things change, right? Because maybe we're not supposed to be there for, you know, a lifetime. Some situations, just like people, are for a season. You just kind of gotta like hang in there with God and see what he's trying to do because everything's not always going to be that clear to us. What's metamorphosis and the water oracle? We got the Isle of Avalon, okay? So it's talking about healing and returning to wholeness and that transformation energy again, you know. Like, I feel like there's a lot of healing going on within you, you know, and I find it real interesting that, like, the first cards, you know, they're all blue and they're pink, you know, like all of this emotion, all of this feeling, and then the next row, it's like all this green and blue, you know, giving me the energy of like healing and communication, you know. So I feel like maybe you're about to start communicating things a lot more clear, and it's gonna allow people to help you a little bit more. What's the water oracle and the rainbow? We got the pearl, which is talking about alchemy and the reward at the end, okay, from going from grit to grace. So like, that's exactly what we're talking about here, you know. And I think things are not as gritty or as terrible as you might perceive them to be, you know. Yeah, it says she who flows. It says ease, being open to change and going with the flow of life, you know. And trust me, I've been in like some pretty shitty situations, you know, and it's like shit always seems to like even out, even if it's not exactly where I want to be, or if I feel like I don't have that much power to change things. Things always seem to change for the better once I get my mind right and take certain actions and really listen to myself and which way that I want to go with things. So you just have to always to remember to do that, and just know that like you're breaking a lot of unhealthy patterns in yourself and in your life, getting rid of people that don't serve you, that you don't need around you, that don't have your best interests at heart, and it's all going to pan out to something much more beautiful in the end. What's thank you and making waves? We got birth mysteries. It says, what are you being called to create, you know? So you might have like a creative call that you need to answer, maybe something new that you're meant to get into, some sort of job or some expression of the gifts that you carry, you know, because everybody has gifts. It says follow the stream, dedication, trust. It says future rivers and oceans, you know. And then at the bottom of the deck it says allowing what is and inevitability and trust. And I don't know, I guess the river is catching my attention more. And also there's like this seashell. The seashell always makes me think about like the swirl and sacred geometry, the Fibonacci sequence and all of that shit. So I don't know. I feel like maybe you're a lot more deeper than people kind of perceive you to be. Maybe you're like a lot more spiritual, a lot more connected to God than like people would think if they just look at you. And I think you need to take full advantage of that and just continue to go with the flow, you know? And it's like with that ocean, it always makes me think about oneness and how like there's a saying that we're all just a drop in the ocean, you know. Don't be afraid to like depend on other people or to allow other people to like help you when you need help, but also follow your intuition and be very smart about what people you accept help from, because you know everybody, like I said before, doesn't have your best interest at heart. So like just follow your intuition, because you're working as a team with the divine right now, okay? Like God is forever and always going to be on your side. That's not nothing that you ever have to worry about. And I think that this new way of thinking that you have going on for yourself, this new way that you're operating, is beautiful, and it brings a lot of healing to things that maybe you haven't been paying attention or you haven't really been seeing about yourself. What's the water oracle, the pearl, and the rainbow? We got the Fool, okay? So I think in order to bring in more of this sweet relief, though, there's another leap of faith that you're going to have to take. We got the Ten of Wands, maybe some things that you're going to have to release, maybe some like betrayals or hurts of the past, you know, things that you've been forced to walk away from. But I think you are working on that, and everybody, it takes them their own certain amount of time to heal. But I think there are definitely a lot of things that you need to work on, right? Shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. I'm still doing shadow work, okay? And we always doing shadow work. Shadow work is the shit, you know? You face whatever it is that you got going on within you. You throw some forgiveness at it and give yourself some forgiveness for the way that you handle things, and just continue to move forward. Like, everybody's not always going to be happy with the way that you choose to walk or with your new way of thinking, right? Because it doesn't fit into their narrative or what they think you should be doing or how they think you should be moving. Because you won't do exactly what it is that they want you to do. Then they want to be a hater and tear your whole shit down. And you just don't have time for that, because God has his hand on your life, guiding you to something better. Was thank you, birth mysteries, and making waves. And I heard like even if you're just being put in a better position to help others. Yeah, we got the Four of Wands, okay? So the Four of Wands, it has this house and it has like all of these things growing around it. But like in the original Four of Wands, you know, there's a couple, a man and a woman. I don't know, the Four of Wands, it could talk about marriage, it could talk about happiness, it could talk about having more stability, seeing more things grow in your life from your efforts, and not necessarily always feeling like you put in effort after effort, and then you don't necessarily see the return of those efforts. It's kind of just like, you know, you always ending up being the one getting fucked is kind of how I'm hearing it, you know. But it's not that, okay? It's not even that. And I think that you know that, like, you're very protected and you're never put in a situation, first of all, that you can't handle, and you're never put in a situation for no reason or put around people for no reason. All you gotta do is just pay attention. What's the Three of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords? We got the Empress, okay? So it's like you're beautiful, you're fertile, you make things grow without any issues or any problems, okay? And sometimes, you know, other energies, they just kind of weigh that down. What's the Princess of Swords and the Fool? We got the Oracle of Cups, okay? So you're very emotionally intelligent too, I think. I think you really have a heart for a lot of people, and then the Queen of Cups has a whale and it has pearls on it. So big wise type of energy, very experienced type of energy, and then we got the Nine of Swords, which is going on top of the Fool and the Ten of Wands. Back to what I was saying about healing certain things and situations that you've been in the past. It's like you're very emotionally intelligent, but still you're kind of holding on to certain things because maybe, like, I don't know, they just created a big wound, but it's like the only thing that keeps that wound open is you holding on to certain things. So don't be afraid to release. What's the Ten of Wands and the Four of Wands? The Five of Cups, yeah. That energy of sadness, like Five of Cups, that's sadness and despair. It's like you got to choose this Four of Wands, happy, stable way of thinking over this Five of Cups. Because the Five of Cups type of energy has the ability to hold you back. But also the Five of Cups gives me this energy, because 5 is the number of change, right? So it gives me this energy of like this big change, this big shift as you come out of this anxiety and as you heal from things that you've been through with people in the past. Having this big change from that, like from a time of extreme sadness and despair to more of that Four of Wands type of energy. Yeah, with the Eight of Cups, you walking away, because the Eight of Cups has all of these eyes on it and they're crying, you know. But the Eight of Cups is the energy of walking away. That's on the original Eight of Cups. There's the cups and then there's the person walking away from whatever situation or whatever is going on, you know. So I feel like you're walking away from this sad obstacle, because they're also over the mountains, you know, that obstacle type of energy into something better. You could be getting some good news, getting a letter or something like that, okay, with this bundle of letters. And then we got the Temperance and the Three of Wands. Yeah, something good coming in for you, because you got that earth angel energy, you know, that always willing to help, always willing to add something positive to the situation, and that kind of shit just doesn't go unblessed, okay? That's what you just need to know. What is the Three of Pentacles, the Empress, and the Apprentice of Swords? We got vows, okay? Like, you made a vow with God, okay? And God does not back out of his deals ever. He's going to bless you with everything that you need to be blessed with, you know, because you're so compassionate, so beautiful. That's what I was saying. So giving, but I think that your mind tends to be very fragile, and that's something that you need to strengthen, because this is going in that Nine of Swords, Ten of Wands type of place, okay? And it's funny because I said the Ten of Swords when I pulled this out, and I was talking about betrayals of the past, you know, but the Ten of Wands is more about burdens, more about like all the things that you've been through, just trying to keep the faith and trying to stay true to what it is that you really truly want. And I don't know, I just feel like you've been through some situations that have just blown your mind, you know, and it's time for you to receive good things that blow your mind in a positive way, where you're able to like actually grow and thrive and just stay stable. What's the Ten of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Four of Wands? We got Aquila with power, okay? So you're stepping more into your power as you heal from the nonsense, from the negativity, from the past things that you had to walk away. What's vows and compassion? We got Signal, okay, with the crew constellation, okay, which is the constellation that's in the shape of a cross, okay? So more of that faith type of energy, but also it says the Southern Cross, giving me Archangel Micheal energy. And then there's parakeets in this tree, you know, and parakeets are kind of dope. They're really smart birds, okay? Really, really smart birds. So like I said, you know, you got this advanced way of thinking, and it's really powerful, and you're very protected by Archangel Micheal because of that. Like, you're very original, and you're just like unapologetically yourself, and that's a rare thing. What's compassion and fragility? We got generosity, okay? And you're extremely generous. This is what I keep saying. It's like you just give and give and give. And I think maybe in the past you were just like giving and giving and giving to the detriment of yourself. It's like even when you were seeing people for the assholes that they were, you were still extending your energy and giving a lot more than you needed to give, you know? And now I feel like you're in a place where you could use some of that generosity, but you're not really seeing the return from that. And so that's why you're releasing this shit and just walking away from it. And it's really the best thing for you. Because it's like trying to, shit. I don't know, trying to get like a whole bunch of like a lemon. Like when you know how you juice a lemon and you get like kind of a good amount of juice, but like if you juice a grape, you only gonna get like, a drop. And that's kind of how it is trying to pull certain shit out of certain people. Like some people just don't have it to give to you. No matter how much time or energy or generosity you put into them, they just don't have it to give it back to you. So you just have to continue to move forward and just know that you're not like doing anything wrong or turning your back on people just because you're not in a position to fucking help everybody. Like that's not your job that you're here to do. Maybe you're here to help some people, but not like everybody. You don't have to break your back for others when you're not even stable, when your cup is not even full. What's fragility and power? We got guidance, okay? So trust in your guidance that you're getting. Trust in the way that you're going, because it really is the right way, I promise. And everybody that hurts you gonna face the consequences of their actions, because you are really truly a limitless being. And I think that it's really like you're way overdue for some change. Yeah, with the Six of Pentacles right here, way overdue to receive this beautiful reward just for being so independently wealthy. It's like you're you're rich with like such a positive energy. Like it's weird. And it's not weird. So like I don't know, just the fact that I say that, and it just makes me feel like this energy of people really don't like that about you. Like I don't know, it's weird. Like because it is weird. It's weird that they don't like it. Okay, it's weird that it like gets under people's skin. But it doesn't mean that there's anything about you that you need to change. You just need to realize that everybody's not going to be accepting of you or who you are and what you have to offer. And that's exactly how you know they're not the people for you, okay? What's fragility, guidance, and power? We got the Four of Swords, okay? So your peace of mind is the most important thing at this time. Like, you need to have your head on straight. You need to be thinking clearly, and you need to be thinking progressively, is what they're saying, okay? That's the Six of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. We got the Ten of Swords and the Six of Cups. And I knew I felt this energy, okay? The Six of Cups, that's the past all day long. And the Ten of Swords is that betrayal. But that's exactly what it is. It's a thing of the past. Like, you don't have to worry about that. You already learned a lot. Like, there's clarity, I think, with you with the Ten of Swords. What's the Nine of Pentacles and the Four of Swords? We got the Page of Wands and the Hanged Man, okay? So, just giving me, like, careful not to get distracted, okay? I feel like maybe there is some passionate project or something you're supposed to be focusing on, or like just getting your way to, and just don't be distracted by people like dangling shit in your face, and also try to stay out of this energy where you feel like you're stuck, like they were saying before. You're not stuck, you're just hanging gracefully in a place just temporarily, so that you can be enlightened and so that you can be shown a better path than maybe the one you were heading down before. It's like now you're taking these burdens and you bundling that shit up and you throwing it on the fire because you know that it's no longer necessary, and actually following the messages that you're getting, and it's leading to a time of celebration, okay? And also is leading to a lot more people offering you more genuine love, the kind of genuine love that you deserve. And then we got holy shit, you are enough, I feel like they've just been trying to get you to see that, like, you don't need no other body. You don't really need anybody else. It's nice to have people around to have that support and all of that. But some people just, I don't know, they walk a different path. They're not meant to be surrounded by people all the time. Like, some people just can't even handle that kind of energy. What is it saying? It says, call bullshit on your bullshit, okay? It says, want to get out of a rut? The first step is to get tired of the bullshit. Your bullshit, their bullshit, the world's bullshit. Spend today honoring your sense of deja vu. Once you can spot the old shit, you can stop that old shit. And that's what I was saying. Like, changing things around and welcoming your new beginning like that. Being okay with being okay with the choices that you make and shit that happens that you feel like is bullshit. Like, stop looking at it as bullshit, okay? Because it's not always that. Like sometimes it's just a lesson. Sometimes you just needed to see that bullshit so you can, when you see the bullshit again, you could be like, I seen this bullshit before. I'm not finna fall for that, right? It says your brain speaks total fuckery unless you turn your soul on, okay? It says a human brain left unattended doesn't shut down. It goes berserk with bullshit thoughts that turn into bullshit actions. Ego will do its job of judging, separating, and accumulating things to define who you are without any help from you. But the soul needs your attention to be heard over that loud ass ego. There's a reason most truly successful people meditate, read inspiring books, focus on gratitude, and are of service to others in some way. It turns their soul on, and that makes them way better leaders, problem solvers, and functional humans. It also makes them way more fun to be around, okay? So you're quieting the ego, not allowing, like I said with the Nine of Swords, not allowing the anxiety to take over and allowing you to like lie to yourself, because I mean, we're people, and if we get to a certain place where our thoughts go unchecked, we definitely will lie to ourselves, okay? This one says once you start laughing, you start healing, okay? It says if you aren't ready to laugh at what's going on, then laugh at something else. The internet is filled with ridiculous shit. Laugh at that or call up your best friend who you trust to make fun of your problems in that loving way. No, in that loving, brutal way that they do. Just start laughing. You don't have anything to lose, okay? So try to be more happy, okay? Like, and even if you don't feel happy, laughing is good medicine, okay? Find something funny to watch, or just like find some way to express that laughter. And I did have a note for the Avians, and I kept seeing birds in flight, okay? Like for the longest, for like a week. Like all the birds that I seen was flying, okay? I didn't see no birds on the ground, okay? So I think now is the time for you to take flight, for you to set your sights higher is the energy that I'm getting from that. Set your sights higher. Like, stop looking at yourself like you're stuck. The truth of the matter is you're star royalty. You're made for something. We're all made to do something, okay? Like, we got energy work, okay? So you could need focus on some energy work. It was talking about meditating. It was talking about reading positive books and just focusing on things that are like of a higher vibration instead of kind of like worrying about things. Not to say like don't like I'm sorry, I'm stuttering because I know it's kind of hard to just like turn your worries off, and that's not what they're saying. They're just saying like to find more positive things to focus on, even if it's a little bit of things that you're focusing on at a time. Like even going outside and just like focusing on some damn trees and flowers is kind of like a meditative kind of state, stargazing and all of those different very natural things that we do, those can all count as meditation if you set the intention to be meditative while you do it, okay? It's like really that simple. I don't know if I want to read this whole thing. It says, hold on. It says reclaim these greater tools. No, it says you hold the gifts and the tools to shift your cellular memory, regrowth structure, and program the way of your operating system to conduct itself. And that's what you're doing when you're focused on positive things and you're constantly thinking positive thoughts. You could be saying a whole bunch of affirmations, like, because it's really possible to retrain your brain to be in a much more positively thinking place, okay? And this shit actually does work too. So So it says, reclaim these greater tools of liberation by proclaiming that you are a healer. This proclamation is not simply a request to do it all by yourself through your ego, but to open into the field of learning where many teachers will arrive to your doorstep to guide you and the collective as a whole, you know? And it's funny too, because it's like when you're focused on positive things, or like when you be looking into a lot of positive shit, like what happens? Your outer environment starts to match that. Your algorithm starts suggesting all these positive things, showing you all these positive quotes. Like, I be seeing so many good quotes when I be on the internet, because that's the kind of shit that I be looking at, you know? I try to watch like educational shit most of the time, but lately I've been watching a whole bunch of TV, okay? So it says, open humbly into this field and dedicate precious time to healing yourself, knowing that each time a human reclaims their inner healer, they send ripples of empowerment to all on earth in both past and future. And that's funny because the ripple was the first thing that came out. Like all of this shit, all of this positivity that you're focusing on, this healing, walking away from negativity, like that's the perfect thing that you should be focusing on, because you're in a time of healing, okay? So continue to dedicate that time to yourself, like you're being restored to a different level of health, okay? And also, you're a healer. You are a powerful healer. That's why you're so helpful, and that's why they were talking about you so nice, you know, because you really bring this level of healing to other people. I don't think you realize that you bring, okay? So just keep doing that, okay? So with that, I'm done. I hope you guys have a happy, fabulous, wonderful, and amazing day, that you got something that you need out of this, and I will see you later. Bye.